Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Montoya. The official Q&A for the Arrastra is out. The previous video I made on this topic was basically the questions and me attempting to answer them, but now we have the official responses from RSI themselves. Before we kick that off, an interesting poll on Reddit was asking what is the future purchase interest of ships based upon a survey of 800 people, and Arrastra came in at number 4, the most desired ship that people would like to buy out of a poll taken on Reddit. Just after Liberator, Perseus, and Galaxy being number 1. Good neighborhood to be in over there. Arrastra is definitely a much desired ship. Let's see if this Q&A raises more interest in it, and I think it should. So starting with the first question, which is about the refining capabilities. Now we all know that the Expanse is a refining ship and not an exploration ship. That is silly that someone would think otherwise. The Odyssey and the Expanse are very different ships. We all know that, right? So how does the Arrastra's refining capability compare to ships like the Expanse, the Orion, and the Galaxy? The Arrastra has 2 reactors that allow it to run 2 separate orders concurrently. These reactors are much larger than the 6 found on the Expanse. Now, the Expanse being a dedicated refining ship. I'm surprised. I would have thought it would have been close, but they're saying here it allows for each order to contain much higher quantity of goods. While the number of player-controlled refining are still being worked out, and we don't want to give specifics just yet, each reactor will be able to refine on the same amount as an Expanse can go in one go. Compared to the Galaxy refining module, these reactors are about the same capacity. Naturally, compared to the Orion, they're significantly smaller. Interesting, and that is good news. Is the Arrastra able to refine quantanium? If so, is it able to create its own fuel and use it? This is an important question because if you're out going far in places where there's no fuel and you're running low on fuel, can you make your own fuel? And the answer to that is it can refine quantanium as a resource, but has no way of feeding it back into its fuel tanks, unlike the Odyssey, which is an exploration ship, which can mine and refine quantanium to use as fuel. So quantanium is purely generated as a commodity to sell. You cannot create your own fuel in this ship. How do the Arrastra's mining capabilities compare to ships like the Prospector, Mole, and Orion? Good question. The answer is it sits between the Mole and the Orion with larger lasers capable of cracking harder rocks at greater distance than the Mole. That's where it should be. Lovely picture of the interior. I'm assuming these are the refinery points inside there. It looks like a good ship, right? Are the mining lasers on the Arrastra bespoke? What are the benefits of size 3 mining lasers? The answer: they are not bespoke and will have upgrade paths like other mining lasers in the game. Sizing wise, they will simply provide greater range and energy output by default. All right. Will it be possible to take material from ore bags onto the ship and refine it, such as ones on the Prospector? The answer is yes. The Arrastra has 2 ports on it capable of taking ore bags from a Prospector or Mole and refining them. So this is a basically mobile refining floating platform, which is good. Are any of the mining lasers able to be controlled by the pilot? And bad news, guys, no. They're all controlled via other dedicated stations, so if you plan on flying it solo, like most of you will have to get out of the pilot seat and hop into that seat much like you do on the Mole. Does the ship have VTOL mode for planetary mining? The answer is yes. There are dedicated VTOLs built into the ship to allow it to hover above the surface of planets. Right now, VTOL is not too much of a big deal, but it will be more important in coming patches, so obviously the ship does have it. This was a pretty good question. Does the ship have a dedicated vehicle bay, or is the internal 64 SCU cargo bay used for this purpose? What's the largest vehicle be able to fit in it? I assumed that it will be combined. You either can put in a vehicle or put in cargo, but it seems I was wrong because the vehicle bay is in the center of the cargo area. However, the 2 coexist, with cargo grids being available at the edges of the room. The central space is designed to hold 2 rocks and 2 Ursa rover-sized vehicles. That is a very decent cargo bay. Does the external ore storage use standard SCU containers, unrefined ore bags, or something new? The answer is they use standardized SCU containers to allow for a huge amount of interoperability and the abilities vehicles in the verse, for example, when offloading and transporting cargo. Which seats can control the missiles on the Arrastra? The pilot seat controls the missiles, so that is what the pod will do. While everyone's mining, pilot gets to spit missiles at things. That's a nice cockpit. I'm liking. The more I read about this, the more I like this ship. I'm just not a miner. I don't know if I would... maybe I'll try getting the game, right? Are there any other entry points into Arrastra aside from the rear ramp? There is a docking collar on the side. What amenities are aboard the Arrastra, like cook quarters, storage, weapon, armor racks, medical, etc.? The Arrastra has a shared bunk area for the crew and separate shared habitation area for them to relax and prepare food. There are no dedicated medical rooms on board, and I hear a collective sigh of disappointment because everyone wants those med beds, but no med beds for you, sorry. There are integrated weapon and suit storage facilities, but no dedicated armory. Fair enough, this is a mining ship, not a combat ship or not a medical ship. And that concludes the official Q&A for the Arrastra. So let me know. This seems to be a very valued ship that people do want to buy. Has this Q&A answered your questions now that you heard it? Is it something you're interested to buy? Let me know. Post below. If you like my content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I will catch you in the next one.